What's good, guys? It's your boy DB, and I'm back with another Splinterlands video. Now, I'm sure you remember, what was it, like 2 days ago? 2 days ago, I put out a video responding to a Twitter comment asking about the continuous decline of SPS, and I said right then that it's simply down to the fact that we don't really have a use case for SPS right now. The whole voucher thing's over. The whales have already sold their vouchers, and now in the process of most likely buying them back in exchange for the airdrops after the prices have dropped significantly, and we were just waiting on a new use case to really pump the value. Well, pretty much as I recorded the video, this happened. They put out the roadmap for 2022, which covered largely SPS, and what we've got the validator nodes coming in. That there was talk about a treasury, and then there's also a new like mini set called Rift Watches that's come in. That's actually going to be purchased with SPS rather than deck or what's the other one? Credits. So it's as a result, it's boosted SPS pretty significantly instantly as well, which was a bit of a pain actually, because I dropped that video saying what was going to happen, and it happened at the same time. I had to rush my video out. My video wasn't supposed to come out until that night, and I had to rush it out because it had basically become old news the second it was released. But I was pretty happy that with what I had predicted and said happened. A new use case came out and the market immediately pumped. I'm very excited for Rift Watches, by the way. I will most likely be grabbing some of that. I was also quite excited by the discussion of more, land expansions and more things being done with land, because I've been keeping an eye on the market and was very tempted to pick some up myself. Instead, I've made a little bit of investment in cards finally. Previously I'd just been renting cards and unlocking ones through rewards. I've actually sat down and had a little bit of an investment going on over the last couple of days. I bought my first Chaos Legion pack. It was terrible. It cost me about $4.84 in dollars, so that wasn't bad because the market rate at the time was about 501 or something, and now it's about 520, I believe. So I got it at a pretty good price. Unfortunately for me, it was full of rubbish. Every card was worth about 7 cents, except one that was about 60. So it was a pretty terrible pack, and at that point, it kind of opened my eyes to kind of how packs work, much in the same way as any card game, in fact, whether Pokemon, Magic, or what have you. So I've actually gone and been investing in cards while the market's kind of on the shift right now. And we can see exactly as I predict. This is over a 7-day graph right here, and this is when I shot my video. I shot my video early on the 29th, and deck was through. It was through the floor, just like SPS was, because deck's value was pretty much tied to SPS at the moment, for the reason that a large deck balance earns us quite a lot of SPS through airdrops at the minute. I think it's until the summer, isn't it, or something? I think it's summer 2022. So as a result, if SPS's value is declining, well, so will the demand for deck. But look what happens around 3 p.m., which is the same time the announcement went out. Deck starts to suddenly climb, and it continued to climb, which was not too bad for me because I actually loaded up on a little bit of deck. When it was roughly around here, about 4 or 5 p.m., I bought a pretty decent amount. I would say a lot. So it was about 10,000 deck or something along those lines. So I don't know, $50 to $60 or whatever. And then it very significantly climbed. So my investment actually worked out quite well. And SPS did exactly the same thing. Here it was in the floor at 17, just before I popped to town and was working on the video and things. I was about to buy a whole bunch of SPS because I knew 17 was well below the value that this token is worth, and it was down there because a lot of people right now were just like, it's got no use at the minute, I'll just get rid of it and I'll buy something else that's kind of pumping, and then I can buy back, and the same way the crypto market and the stock markets always work. But I saw that it was significantly undervalued and was about to buy a bunch, and then the announcement went out, and immediately Here we go, like 3-ish, look, boom, and it starts flying up, and it's already at 20 at that point. A nice profit already, and it's just continued to rise and rise and rise, and I really think it's going to continue further. I actually managed to buy a bunch just under, it was about 20.5. I managed to buy a nice little bag of SPS. I got about 350 or so, I think. Just to kind of get things going. It's also going to help me, pick up a voucher so I can get an extra pack at some point before this pre-sale ends. I may as well do that because the vouchers themselves don't really have a great deal of value. So, I could sell it and then buy, another 10 SPS. It just doesn't seem worth it. I may as well grab another pack. But yes, at the moment, it's had a small dip back into the low 23s, but that's normal. You get these kind of corrections. The staircase effect, as I've always said, it's gonna move up bit by bit. And I think as more and more people are realizing what's happened, because not everybody plays hardcore. Some people are just investors, some people are players, some people are both. And as a result, you kind of see these things in stages. And I really do see SPS climbing quite significantly over the next few months. This is kind of the value I think the token should hold, somewhere in the mid-30s. I would predict that somewhere over the next several weeks it will probably be back up there, at least in the low 30s. We're seeing that steady climb right now. We've pulled right out of this slump here, and we've broke the 24-cent barrier. I will likely pick up a little bit more. As I said, I suspect it will correct a little, then move back up, then correct a little, and move back up. Bitcoin is doing pretty much the same thing at the moment. So it also adds to the weight that that's the trend and the pattern that SPS will go in. So for those that have been asking me, should they be buying SPS right now? In my opinion, I would be keeping an eye on the market. I wouldn't necessarily buy a huge quantity in one go. I would probably buy small increments as things climb, to keep an eye on the market, because things can dip and things can correct a little hard at times. I do feel long term that SPS is going to do very well. The tokenomics of Splinterlands are very good compared to a lot of NFT games, which just really pump and then they just collapse. And Splinterlands is doing a very, very good job of making sure that things are sustainable. As I said, I've been involved in investments in cryptocurrency for a long time, and it fills me with confidence, quite frankly. And as a result, I've been shifting certain investments over. I've got a good bit on like Binance and Coinbase and various exchanges and cold wallets and things. And I have over the last few days kind of dipped into Hive and into SPS and card investment, because cards are also looking quite good right now. As the general market dipped, so did a bunch of the cards, and I think there's definitely a few that are quite undervalued right now. In fact, Chaos Legion in particular, I don't think it's going to. A lot of people have the assumption that when the general sale happens, Chaos Legion cards will collapse. That they will dip hard and then they will gradually rise as packs begin to sell out. But the thing is, everybody is doing that same thing. Everybody has that same idea, and a huge majority of people are waiting. So as a result of that, what will likely happen is the cards won't particularly dip much at all, in my opinion. I really think, because everyone's going to start buying at the same time, we're going to see a very sudden pump on card values. As a result, I've actually started getting in there now, and I've picked up a few cards at pretty good prices. Basically, I've looked at the market trends on Splinter cards, and I can see what's moving down, what's moving up, and what's kind of steady. And then I'm just going through the market and seeing if anybody's pricing to sell. They're pricing 10, 20, 25% under the current rate, and snapping them up if they're cards that in general have a better value than this. In particular, because I'm not buying these for a short-term flip either. I'm buying these cards as cards that I'm more than confident in the next several months would have significantly risen in value. Legendary cards tend to do that in particular. And as SPS and deck will likely climb, so will card values as well, because people want more of these currencies, and that's just generally what happens with it. I'll be keeping an eye on Rift Watchers as well. So my SPS is not going to get sold. I'm going to be holding that for a good while until I see what these kind of cards are like. But yeah, a lot of my investment right now is going into Chaos Legion. I'm also keeping an eye on certain alpha and beta cards that seem to have dipped quite a bit lately, unexpectedly so. Some beta cards have climbed significantly to the point they're the same price as their alpha counterpart, which is a little bit unusual, to be honest. Is the beta card overpriced, or is the alpha card underpriced? I would go with the latter. I think the alpha cards are a little underpriced in certain circumstances. Some of them are ridiculously expensive, but some of them are underpriced and they're still viable right now. So yes, in terms of investment, I think this is not financial advice, as I always say, but what I am doing personally is gradually picking up some SPS. Deck, sort of. Really, I use my deck for buying cards. I don't really use deck as a hold. I don't think it's not a stable hold, really. It's not designed for that purpose. But it is good for airdrops. So if you're intending to buy cards and you're in the market, sitting on a bit of deck doesn't massively hurt you, because it's not like it falls through the floor suddenly either, especially now that SPS is climbing. But SPS feels like a real good, solid investment, especially long term. I feel its health will be somewhere in the mid-30s, and I feel long-term it's definitely a coin that can get significantly higher, especially when the burn and things come in, and the whole treasury thing that was also mentioned with SPS. I really feel it'll be a strong token going forward. So hopefully that helps you guys out and answers a few questions. If you have any more, drop a comment below. Please like and subscribe. I'm doing my best to build up Splinterlands on this channel right now. And yeah, I'm feeling very, very confident. This is exactly what I predicted would happen. As soon as a new use case come in, the market would spike, and it's correcting now. It's on its way back up. So I feel pretty good with my future predictions as well. I really do feel that Chaos Legions is not going to drop too drastically, and will quickly start climbing as everybody's buying cards over packs. I don't massively like packs. I think packs are more of a whales game, and also a YouTuber's game. Opening packs is fun for people to see, but those YouTubers kind of need to have good pockets to make it worthwhile. Mine aren't quite deep enough to really warrant it right now. I'll leave that to Clove and Bulldog and Luke and stuff, I think. But yeah, I really feel as a result, a lot of people are doing what I'm doing. They'll start picking up these cards, and when the general sale happens, I think these cards are going to rise quite significantly. So best of luck in the market, guys. Hopefully I'll see some of you in my Discord. There is a place on my Discord to promote your Splinter Talk posts and your peak posts and stuff. So join through the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video and the next live stream. Till next time, we out of here.